How do you manifest your dream job, even if you've been rejected multiple times? Well, today I have a fabulous viewer question on this precise topic, and I'm going to give you my law of attraction advice to help you do this. Now, of course, if you have a question about the law of attraction that you would like for me to answer, I do accept questions for future videos, and there is a link below in the description. So if you'd like to send me your manifesting questions, please do so, and you might see it featured in a future YouTube video. All right, but let's go ahead and jump into this viewer question on manifesting your job. All right, dear Andrea, I am Fatima, a woman from Iran, and I work part-time as a university lecturer. I've been watching your tutorials on YouTube and have found your way of teaching techniques and videos to be very beneficial. I graduated from the University of Putra, Malaysia with a PhD in economics. I returned to my home country a few years ago in an attempt to secure employment in academia, but I was unsuccessful. My application went through multiple rounds of the assistant professor process until something went wrong and it was turned down. My country's procedures are very complicated, only Iranians can understand. Now I am 46 years old and have no chance of being hired for academic roles since only those under 45 are eligible to apply for assistant professor positions in my nation. During these years, I have submitted my resume to universities abroad. I was only invited for an interview by the University of California, San Diego, but even though it didn't work out, I found my resume was strong enough to be taken into consideration by prestigious universities. I'm currently looking for a job in the United States or Europe, and I'm constantly thinking about how old I am and getting older without a secure job. Dear Andrea, I don't know why, but I felt that I can share my problem with you like a friend. It'd be very kind if you advise me on what steps I have to take, because I have such a hard time letting go of thinking about finding a job and being older. Well, this is a fabulous question because not only is it about finding a job and landing a dream job with the law of attraction, but we're also dealing with elements of being rejected and also age. Okay, so we're going to talk about, how do you manifest a job? If you're younger and watching this video, some of these things aren't going to apply to you. So hopefully it'll be even easier for you to get into resonance. But even if you're having all of these kind of barriers, we can still get you there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into why this happens. And then I'm going to talk about how do we fix it. Okay. So first off, why do you find yourself in a situation where you're not manifesting the job that you want? And then what everybody really wants to know, which is how do you actually manifest the job that you want, even if you have some barriers in front of it? So please do make sure to watch through to the end of the video so you get all of the actual technique. And of course, if you are watching this video right now and you have successfully manifested a job with the law of attraction, definitely go ahead and share your advice below in the comments so that Fatima gets lots of great advice to her question. And also anybody who's watching this video can also get lots of great advice. All right. But let's go ahead and jump on in with my advice. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about again is why does this happen? Okay. Why do you find yourself in a position where you're being rejected for jobs? Okay. Now, one reason that this can happen, and this is reading through real strong in this question, is this issue of approval. Okay. And so I would say that very frequently when it comes to manifesting a job, there are issues revolving around the idea of approval. So what do I mean by that? I mean that a lot of times, if there's something that you want, like a career, there's this idea that I need to be vetted. I need to be credentialed. Somebody needs to decide that I'm worthy of doing this job. And I love that this question came in the realm of academia because, wow, you really see this in academia. Okay, so for instance, let me get out my little marker here. There's this fallacy that the more you can credential yourself, the more worthy you are. Okay. So it depends on what country you're coming from. So these may look different because I'm coming from it from the United States perspective. But, here, maybe you want to get your associate's degree. You want a bachelor in arts, bachelor in science. You want your PhD, you want your MD, you want your JD, all these letters behind your name. Okay. This idea that, if only I take enough tests, if only I get enough certifications, if only, the right person approves of me, I get the right certification, the right licensing, I go through all the hoops, I jump through everything. I gotta prove myself. Okay. And so a lot of times that right there gets in the way of getting the job. Now, the nice thing here is that it appears that Fatima already has the letters. All right. So she's got a PhD here in economics. So we've already got the letters. All right. But a lot of times what can happen, as somebody goes through all these steps to get to the PhD, okay? That's a really great degree, right? But there's a lot of steps that go into that. And by the time you actually get that credentialing, you've been indoctrinated into this idea that I need approval. I need someone to vet me. I need enough experience. I need someone to stamp their approval on me. Now, there are definitely jobs where there is an expectation that you have a PhD or an expectation that you have an MD or whatever the degree may be. But what we want to get out of thinking is that somehow the approval is important. Because here's what's happening is that you're putting out your resume or you're going into interviews, and what you're saying, whether or not you realize it, this can just be vibrationally what you're putting out is you're asking for approval. Please approve of me. Am I good enough? Am I good enough? I don't know if I'm good enough. Okay. And so what's going out when we're going through this process of putting out resumes or meeting with people or having interviews is that the message that's going on is I'm looking for approval. Therefore, I'm worried I'm not going to be approved of. Okay. See, people only ever look for approval when they feel insecure that they will not be approved. And so it's a very important thing to understand when it comes to going in for an interview and trying to land that dream job. And a lot of people do this. Okay. It's very, very common that they're looking to be approved. They're looking to get the trophy of the job. They're looking to get that stamp of approval. And it's coming from a place of, I need for you to approve of me. Now, this is something that regardless of what we want to manifest, we want to avoid doing. Okay. Because whenever we walk into a situation looking for approval, we actually push it away because what we're putting out vibrationally again is insecurity. I don't know if they're going to approve of me. I don't know if they're going to like me. I don't know if they're going to give me the job. Okay. And that makes us less of a match to actually getting the job. Okay. So you can liken this a lot to, I like the dating metaphors because everybody's kind of seen that out and about or watched it in a movie or something. Okay. But when you think of somebody who's trying to get attention, like romantic attention, okay, whether they're going after the guy or the girl or whatever, and the person that just kind of goes in for the kill, they get the guy or they get the girl. But the person who's looking for approval or trying to do all the right things, say all the right things, that's the person who gets friend zoned. That's the person who gets ghosted. Okay. Well, the same thing happens in jobs. Okay. It's that looking for approval. And so since Fatima wrote in, when the question had academia written all over it, and we've got her credentials here, I wanted to make that very strong point, which is that when you're looking for a position, when you're trying to land a job, we want to get out of that mindset that somebody needs to approve of us. I know it seems that way, like they actually have to give me the job, Andrea, okay? But you want to flip that around. Now, the other thing that's going on here, I don't know if you caught this, hopefully you caught it. What is it? It is age. Oh my gosh, age. All right. So I'm almost 44 here. So I'm pretty close in age to Fatima. So I can feel this question, right? The age question. And so what are our beliefs about age? In a lot of cases, there is kind of this cultural belief that as you age, you might get phased out. They may force you to retire. They may not hire you. How many people have heard this one? Okay. Right. And so I think it reads pretty strongly through Fatima's question here that, she's concerned. I feel like I'm getting older and the cultural beliefs are that as I get older, I'm no longer going to be approved. And in fact, the belief structure is so strong where she is that they literally will not hire people that are not over the age of 45. So I've got about a year and a month left to get a job in academia in Fatima's country. And then they're putting me out to pasture. Right? And so please understand that when I say that, the reason I'm saying that is that when we have these belief structures, they do manifest into reality. Okay. And so Fatima is dealing with this particular conundrum that there is this strong belief that as you age, you are less desirable. And so she's literally living in a world where even in her home country, she's unable to get a job. So what do you do with that? Now we're going to talk about these two things because these are the two dominant things that are getting in the way of manifesting a dream job after a rejecting kind of experience in this question. So we definitely want to talk about how do you take all of that and still manifest the job, okay? Because you can do that. But first, if you love law of attraction videos that teach you how to manifest the life of your dreams, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, go ahead and turn on the handy notification bell. I put out content like this every single week, and I know you're going to love it. Also, right now, we are in like New Year's time. And so this time of year, I do get lots of questions from people about getting into great physical condition for the new year. I do have lots of great advice on manifesting great physical results. And so one thing, if you haven't picked this up yet, this is totally free. It is a cheat sheet with some of my top body manifesting techniques. And you can pick that up. Again, it's totally free. It is at bestbodytips.com. Again, that is bestbodytips.com. And again, I use these. And I'm almost 44 years old. I've got 2 kids. I'm in pretty good shape. In fact, it is right around holiday season right now as I'm filming this video, and I've been making cookies, eating cookies. I just got back from a trip to Disney World with my family, and I was eating all kind of junk. And let's see if you can see it. I still have some ab definition, okay? So it's not about what you eat. It's not about how much you exercise. There is a lot going on up here that results in getting into the kind of physical shape that you want to be in. So please, if you'd like to manifest great physical condition for 2024, make sure to pick up that PDF. All right, but let's jump into these things. Okay, again, so there's 2 things that we want to focus on within this question. The first is one that anybody wanting to manifest a job needs to focus on, okay? And the idea is approval. Okay, how do we turn this around? Okay, the second one, specific to Fatima's question, and for anyone who's like me, like middle-aged and older and proud, how do we deal with the age issue that's here as well? Okay, so we're going to talk about these 2 things. Now, the first one is approval. Approval. Okay, anybody who's walking in for a job needs to understand this dynamic of the law of attraction, which is that, again, we don't want to be walking in there looking for them to approve of us, okay? Because the second we do that, we're like the guy chasing after the girl, doing all the things that she wants, and she's just not that interested, okay? And that's what happens so often with jobs. So you want to turn that around, okay? And so a really great thing that you want to focus on when it comes to manifesting a job is you want to look at the job interview process. Is that, do I approve? Do I approve? Okay, so when you're going in for an interview, when you're sending out your resume, when you are reaching out to a company or a position, I want you to think about it as you're interviewing them. You're interviewing them. So it's not about, are they going to approve of me and give me the job? But rather instead it's, do I approve of this company? Okay. Do I approve of it? What do I approve of it? Does it look like a good fit for me? A lot of times people don't go into job searching situations like that at all. They are simply looking for approval, and they're not at all looking to see, is this a good match for me? Now, this is important on a couple of levels. The first level is it gets you out of looking for approval, and it puts you in the more of the driver's seat. The other thing that it gets you to do is it gets you to think critically about, is this a match for me? A lot of times people get real desperate with jobs and they just take any old thing that comes along. And this is why so many people are not happy with their jobs. All right. So that's a big thing you want to focus on, is that if you're ever going in for an interview or if you're meeting with somebody, you're sending in your resume, think about it as, do I approve of this place? Is this place a good match for me? Now, we're not looking for it to be a terrible place. We're not trying to nitpick all the bad things about it. But what you're looking for is evidence that it's a good fit for you. Okay, so that's one way that you can put yourself more in the driver's seat when it comes to interviewing and looking for jobs. Do I approve of this place? I'm not just putting out my resume to anybody and hoping somebody takes me, right? But rather, I'm putting out my resume and I'm looking to see, do I approve? Okay. So that's a really big, great thing that you can do, because if you're the one who's looking to see if you approve, you're going to attract more jobs that are looking for your approval. Okay. So very important dynamic to understand. Another really important thing that you want to focus on is you want to focus on, I can help. I can help. Okay. So what I mean by this, again, a lot of times when people are looking for jobs, what they are looking for is approval. They're looking for the job to help them out and hire them. Okay. So I'm looking for your approval so you can help me out. What you want to do is you want to turn that around when you're going in for interviews and you're putting out your resume, and you want to focus on, I can help. I can help this school. I can help this company. I can help this job. I can provide to them. That's a very important message you want to be putting out whenever you're in kind of one of these approval type issues. And it works really great for relationships too. When you're looking at somebody and in your mind, you're thinking, I can help you. I could definitely help you out. I've got what it takes to help you. That's the message you're putting on to that other person. I can help. I can help. I can help. And if they're looking for help, they're going to be like, wow, she can help. I think Fatima could help us. I think Fatima's got what it takes. Rather than, please hire me. I need help. Please help me. I need a job. I need help. Which puts the employer in the position of saying, okay, this one looks like they need a handout. Now, I know that's not what you're trying to do, right? That's not what anybody's trying to do. But unfortunately, when we look for approval and we don't focus on how we can help the employer, we're not putting out that vibrational message. So a really great way to dial these two things up, I approve and I can help, would be some just good old fashioned visualization. So something I would really recommend to Fatima, to anybody who's out there looking for a position, is I'd like for you to think about, close your eyes, lay down, and go through in your mind an interview. Okay, it doesn't have to be a real interview, but I want you to practice a visualization. Just lay down, close your eyes, and I want you to think about going in for an interview. And as you're in that interview, you're thinking about those two things. You're thinking about, do I approve of this place? Do I like this boss? Do I like this? Is this a nice area? Do they have a nice package, a nice pension plan? What is it that I'm looking for? Look for approval. Look for reasons for you to approve of that position. And also in that interview, I want you to think about finding ways to help. I could help them with this. I'm good at that. Maybe your role, like Fatima, is in academia. Maybe you're really good. You're a really good instructor. You're really good in front of a crowd. You're really good at explaining things. Maybe you're timely and you're punctual and you're effective. You want to think about those things during the interview. Now, using this as a visualization is really great vibrational practice. You want to put yourself in the habit of doing this so it becomes kind of a dominant way of thinking. The more that you practice something, the more it will come to you habitually. And so if you're taking time now to sit down and do a quick visualization of going in for interviews and looking to see, do I approve of this job? And this is how I can help. Well, that's going to get embedded into your mind so that the next time you put out a resume, the next time you're on a job call or a job interview, you immediately default into that. All right. So that's how we're going to work with approval. Okay. Now, if you're dealing with age relations, okay, so we're dealing with age here with this particular question. Again, Fatima is 46, right? And she's dealing with this stress of, I just feel like I'm too old. Nobody wants me. Okay. So here's another great thing that you want to do is you want to focus on a few different things. One is I would love for you to think about people who are in your profession or the profession that you're moving towards who are older. Okay, so academia is actually a really great one because you can think about some of those professors or teachers who were older. Teachers who taught you who were older than you. Maybe they were in their 50s or their 60s. Think about that kind of stuff and dwell on those types of people. You may want to ask yourself, I would like to see some more examples of older people in academia, okay? Older people in academia. And when they pop up, get excited about them. Here's a fun little law of attraction trick, by the way, that kind of jumps on into the interesting things about technology. So we all know now that the phones listen to us and all that, right? You know, you could just say it into your phone. You know, older people in academia, older teachers, old teachers, old teachers, old professors. Talk it into your phone so that when you're scrolling through, you're more likely to run across old teachers, old professors. That's a really fun thing to do, to just drum that up in your reality so that now you're starting to see more people in your chosen profession who are older. That's really important because right now what Fatima is saying is that there are no places for old people in academia. There are no places for them. And so she's seeing less and less and less and less. So what you want to do is you want to drum up evidence that these people do exist. Because again, the law of attraction is just going to give you more of what you focus on. So if you start to see, you know, old professors pop up on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, and you notice that, you're going to start seeing more of them, more of them, more of them. And the more evidence that you get that those people exist, the more you're going to believe that there's a place for you because there's older people doing your job. Another great thing that I like to use for age, because again, I'm almost Fatima's age, okay? I'm here on YouTube, which is, you know, a lot of young people run around here, right? So I got to work with these things too. And so some of the stuff that I like to talk myself through that really kind of gets me in resonance is the idea that I'm just getting better with age, or I'm looking forward to getting better and better and better. I also really like the idea of expertise. So like the older I get, the more I know, the better I am. And so, you know, when you think of somebody who's old, who's also wise, I like to focus in on that. Okay, so like with my profession, I definitely used to think that this was something only like young people could do. But the more I've really kind of dwelled on that, the more I realized that, wow, you know, people who teach, actually, a lot of them are older. And the older you are, the more experience you have, the more knowledge you have, the more skills that you have. And so I've started to look at age as an asset rather than a liability. Okay, so this is the other thing that I want you to focus on when it comes to age. Age is an asset in work. Age is an asset. Okay. Now, there's lots and lots of evidence to support this idea if you look for it. All right. Okay. I think we all know what it's like to work with somebody and it's their first day on the job. Okay. Those people don't know what they're doing, right? They're dropping things. They're messing things up. They're asking stupid questions, right? First day on the job is like the youngster. Okay. Nothing wrong with being young, but as they age, as that person ages, they're going to accumulate so much knowledge and expertise. Okay. And so that's another thing I want you to think of. I love that as a daily mantra or as like an affirmation. Age is an asset. My age is an asset. I get better as I age. Now, another question I get from people from time to time related to jobs is, how do you find a career that you're passionate about? And if that's a question that you have, you're really going to love a video that I have. I'm going to put it right here. It's on finding your passion with the law of attraction. But thanks so much to Fatima for writing in with this question today on how to manifest a dream job after rejection, even if you're getting older. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. And of course, I look forward to bringing you another one soon. Bye-bye.